Hey, today we will be talking about the fifth dimension and how we can manifest our life from the fifth dimension. Hey, my name is Gasper the Liner and today we will learn how to get into fifth dimension, or better said, how we can become more conscious about fifth dimension and what we can do after we become more conscious about it. So, as I received many questions lately, is it really possible that we can create any kind of reality no matter the certain situation? And my answer to you is yes, we can. Of course we can, but we need to learn how, because we need to leave our identity behind us, and that can be a great challenge. So, how to leave the identity behind us and why we should do it? Because our identity made us who we are, and as long as we are who we are also somewhere at some time. And as long as we are caught in this three-dimensional reality, we think that this is all that is space and time. So that means that we are somewhere and we want to go somewhere. And the distance between where we are and where we wants to be, in order to get to that certain destination, that's how we will experience time. But if this destination is really far away, like your dreams and goals are really far away, that means that you can predict that there is a lot of time you will need to get to your certain destination. And because we can predict how much time will be needed for that, it's easily to give up, because it takes so much time, so much effort, so much work, and most of the people give up because of that. And then again, we are in certain situation, probably some hard, challenging moments, so we don't have like money to get there, we don't have enough motivation to get there, that's why we quit. But let's think about, what if we have access to the quantum field where there is infinite different realities, infinite time and infinite places, so you can become everybody at everywhere, and you can choose your reality and you can create it. That's how we can manifest our life from the fifth dimension. So how we can make it, how we can get there, that's a great question for today's video. And we can imagine now the third dimension, that place, that reality, that consciousness that we are living right now. It's based on physical objects, but it's not everything. Those physical objects also are created from energy. And if those physical objects are created from energy, that energy needs to come from somewhere. And this separation between where we are right now and the place that this energy is coming from, because it needs to come from some sort of source of energy, that is also called time. And that is the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is time of traveling. So as this energy is moving, it is actually always, circling. And energy is actually an invisible light, so this invisible light is always moving. But let's find out from where it is coming from, because if there is physical reality, it needs to be charged from somewhere. And as quantum physicists now can prove that there actually exists this source of energy, or the field on which everything is connected, and this third dimension is just the outcome of that source, but it's not the outcome of the God's mind. Actually, it's the outcome of our mind, because where we place our attention, that's what we will create. Our brain works like that. So when we learn something new, we made new patterns in our brains and in our brain, and when we recognize those patterns, it's called memory. So if we experience something new, firstly we will charge something new in our brain, but when we will recognize that we charged something new in our brain, we will remember it. And that's what happens when we experience something new. That something new didn't exist before, because that's why we call that it's something new. So as long as we didn't experience it, it didn't exist for us. And that can explain how you can't imagine that you have already all the abundance that you can be already grateful for, because you didn't experience it yet, so you can't believe that it's possible. But what if you can make those patterns in your brain before it actually happens, before the event actually occur in your life? So let's say now how to become nobody, to experience everybody, how to become nothingness, to experience everything. Because with that, with knowing how we can do that, we can experience our perfect reality. We can experience our dreams already right here, right now. And when we will experience our dreams, we will turn on those connections in our brain, so our brain will recognize it as it is already happened. And because of that, our body will get used to that experience, so it will be able to create a vision of that. It will be able to create feelings and emotions of that. And because our emotions are charging that magnetic field around our body, that means that we will attract that experience to us, because everything is energy. As you know by now, everything is energy. So when we will be able to charge this magnetic field with certain informations that we would like to experience our reality, that means that we will start to attracting this certain reality in our life. But it will not happen immediately, because we need to repeat it, more times, so the energy will be stronger. So now I will explain you finally how we can get to that fifth dimension. Fifth dimension is a consciousness of nothingness, but at the same time everything. So we can only get to the fifth dimension when we leave behind our identity, when we leave behind who we are, because that's how we can raise so much energy that we have access to the nothingness, to that quantum place. And that's because our identity is made out of our feelings and emotions, and those are negative emotions, positive emotions, and blissful states. And negative emotions are the slowest vibration. Positive emotions are higher vibration, and then this blissful state is even higher vibration, but it's still our identity. So we need to leave all those things behind to be able to get into that fifth dimension. So we can do it by that. We can close our eyes and just set our intention to that darkness, to that nothingness. When we will be setting our attention to the nothingness, we will be sending our energy to the nothingness. And because of that, we will sending our energy to the nothingness, we will start to become nothingness, because we will be sending our consciousness to nothingness, and we will become aware of the nothingness. More we will be aware of the nothingness, less we will be aware of our identity. So more we will be practicing it, maybe it will happen for you as soon as you will try it, but many times we need to practice it longer. So when you will experience that nothingness, you will become a quantum observer. So when you become quantum observer, at that place, or better said, at that state of consciousness, you can choose your own reality, because there, as I said before, there you can create your own reality, because, like I said, infinite possibilities. And that is all based on science. That's what quantum physicists are doing now. That's what they're explaining now, and that's what we can achieve with our consciousness, with our state of consciousness. And so you can manifest your life by that. Go into that state of nothingness, leave your identity behind, the place where you are. You will leave everything behind. Just with your consciousness, you will get into that place of nothingness, and you will create your own reality. There you will not even visualize it, you will just feel it. You will just feel it, and at that time when you will be feeling it, your brain in your body will start to creating new patterns. So when you will become back conscious about your body, if you will be able to recognize those patterns in your brain, it will be like recognizing your memory, that you will feel like you have experienced something that you actually didn't experience physically yet. When you will be able to recognize it, that means that you are already sending the energy to that quantum field again to make you this, to attract this certain reality to your life. And that is the art of manifesting from quantum field. And maybe, as I saw in some comments, some people said that three-dimensional reality is actually like a prison of consciousness, which is led by evil forces. So let's say what would happen if somebody with negative intentions would have access to that quantum field. Actually, yes, what would happen? I would say that it would not be possible, because with some negative intentions we would still be filled with fear and anger, and those are too slow vibrations that we would be able to access to those higher frequencies. But when we experience higher frequencies, we experience so much love that there is no place for anger and fear and ego and any other negative emotions. So that's from my experiences. We experience so much love that we don't need anything else, and we don't feel any desire to do something like that. And I would say that is this protection of nature that only those with positive intentions have access to that power. I would say that that's the protection from nature. So only those with the intention of love have access to that power. So you have access to that power. We all have access to that power when we become aware of it, but not just to become aware of it, you need to become it. You need to become this pure consciousness, to leave your identity behind. So I hope this video can help you on that journey of manifesting, because at the end of the day we find out it's not really about manifesting, it's about who we are becoming on that process. It's about who we are becoming on that journey of growing. And if you can't understand it now, you will understand when you will experience it. It's an incredible feeling. I'm sending you all the blessings and love.